And you can meet Julie and Kay in person on this year's Master Gardener Tour. To give us a preview of the whole shebang, I'm joined by Travis County Master Gardener Joanna Benko. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, John. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's just start off right at the bat. What is a Master Gardener, and what is this Master Gardener Tour that we're going to be talking about?
Well, the tour itself originated in 2005 and was held for every 18 months, until we had a pause in the tour. But it is put on by the Travis County Master Gardeners Association in conjunction with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service of Travis County. The tour this year is a one-day event. It provides a rare, behind-the-scenes look at 4 private gardens in Central Texas. We have realistic, sustainable gardening practices for the Central Texas area.
Okay.
The theme for this year's tour is For Gardeners by Gardeners, which focuses on the vast variety and practical beauty of native and well-adapted plants.
Okay. What about the admissions?
Well, the event's going to be on, as I said, the event's going to be on Saturday, May the 11th, just in time for Mother's Day.
Okay.
The tour itself it's $20 in advance through May the 5th and $25 on the day of the tour. It's going to be held rain or shine from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and children under 12 are free.
Let's take a look at the first garden. So that's our own Daphne Richards garden. So this should be spectacular.
It is, and we call it a work-in-progress garden.
Okay.
Because when you have to do all the work yourself, just as Daphne Richards, who is our Travis County Extension horticulture agent, knows, it's always a work in progress. There is a severe slope in the backyard that required adequate drainage, and digging in limestone soil is something we all know about. There are bricks and stones that define the garden beds. There is additional garden soil that has been added to allow the roots to grow. The last snowpocalypse that we had presented another opportunity to experiment with new varieties of plantings, which is why so many of the plants in her garden are not that old.
Okay.
You can never be sure of what you're going to find in Daphne's garden, but you'll be sure that she's the one that put it there.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, again, what is, for the viewers who don't know, what is a Master Gardener and what is the extension?
Well, the Master Gardener program, there's one in almost every county in Texas, and every certified Master Gardener receives special training in horticulture, which includes continuing education, as well as an additional 50 hours of training. Our mission as Master Gardeners is to offer sound, research-based horticultural advice to the public through educational service and volunteer work in conjunction with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. It's a really unique agency. It has a statewide network of professional educators, trained volunteers, and county offices. And it's been around for over 100 years.
Wow.
It's delivered innovative science-based solutions in education which intersect the areas of health, agriculture, and the environment and communities across the state.
That's wonderful. So what are some just example projects that you all have done in terms through the extension or through the Master Gardening hours that they're required to procure?
Well, this is our busiest time of the year in the community as Master Gardeners. We're at most of the plant sales and swaps, and we're at almost all of the farmers markets. We have plant clinics that are staffed by Master Gardeners.
Let's look at this next garden here.
We call this the elevated garden. Master Gardener Teresa Garcia and her husband Donnie bought the place in 2012. The property sits directly on top of a stone quarry.
Wow.
Yes. So to garden, they rose to the occasion. So every bed is elevated. There are large mulch berms that are linked by gravel pathways. There's pots of all shapes and sizes that dot the 1-acre property. There are beehives, birdhouses, and bird baths that entertain the cats.
Wow.
They have dogs that play in the grassy areas and chickens that squawk in their coops. It could also be designated as a wildlife habitat, but for now, it's just a Master Gardener's home.
I love that. What about this next garden we're going to look at?
Well, John, have you ever thought about gardening in a forest?
Not necessarily.
Well, we call this the Woodland Escape Garden. Master Gardener Sandy Stone's 2 acres includes 65 mature live oaks,
Wow.
plus numerous cedar elms and ash junipers. Since moving to the property in 2007, she has some dense underbrush that has been cleared, not by her, but mostly by deer and drought. The clay soil's been covered with a foot of good topsoil and amended with compost and mulch. While much of the land remains natural, it's dotted with a series of gardens, garden rooms throughout Sandy's Place. It is a place of natural beauty. She has a plaque that states, "All gardeners live in beautiful places because they make them so."
That's beautiful. Well, you had mentioned that these have been going on for about almost, 20 years? I think you said 18. How do y'all go about selecting who's going to have a garden during that year? I mean, what's that sort of process?
Well, we're very, very lucky because we have over 100 Travis County Master Gardeners, and we all stress the use of native and adapted plants. And for the location of the garden tour, we actually consider drivability. You know, that's important in Austin.
Sure.
We're thrilled that all of these gardens, all 4 of these gardens, are within easy driving distance in South Austin, and they have all featured native and adaptive plantings.
That's wonderful.
We provide to the public, once again, sound, research-based horticultural publications and advice. Because gardening in Central Texas is an ongoing seasonal challenge.
Absolutely.
And master gardeners are out in the community to help the public with that challenge.
That's great. And so if the public needs to contact the extension, they can do so by phone. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a Master Gardener phone desk. It offers assistance with requests for information on various horticulture topics and advice on publications on a variety of topics. We also have a Master Gardener email. Where the public can just send digital photos and along with detailed descriptions of their questions to a Master Gardener expert.
All of these gardens that we've looked at are really spectacular. What are some of the main advantages about going on this tour? It's not that you're just going to go and see stuff. There's some really wonderful knowledge that you can sort of glean from the gardeners who will be present, correct?
Oh, yes, exactly. You know, as I said before, the theme for this garden tour is for gardeners by gardeners.
Right.
So when you go to these particular homes, you'll be able to talk with master gardeners. They'll be staffed with master gardener docents as well as the homeowners. Then you'll be able to ask them questions about the plants or the plantings or any type of the bed structures that they have. In addition, as we said before, there are so many gardening issues in Austin
Sure.
that have been addressed by these particular gardens, and I think it'll be very helpful for folks. In addition, we will have plant labels for most of the plants.
Okay.
So we'll have the common names as well as the botanical names so that you'll be able to say, I like this plant,
Right.
and this is what it is, and I can go now purchase it.
Very important.
Yes.
With the gardeners who are there too, though, like you mentioned, they've been through a lot of the challenges that you really only get through, experience, so to speak, in gardening here in Austin and Central Texas. But also, everybody doesn't see the same on design, so you'll really get to look at different examples of design characteristics of some of these gardens, correct?
Oh, exactly. I know, and this is something that most people do in their gardens is they get a plant and they put it someplace and it doesn't grow.
Sure.
And so these gardeners have done that themselves.
Right.
And they have moved plants around and they can talk to the public about their challenges and the difficulties that they may have had in their particular soil structures. And it just makes it almost like a DIY type of situation where you can really learn from someone else's mistakes and successes.
Like I always say, you have to get your brown thumb first before you get your green thumb.
Exactly.
Which can be a little disheartening for folks, but that's gardening. Okay, and let's talk about the last gardens we're going to be looking at. What about these?
Well, you've already seen the video of these gardens, but we call this the suburban farm. Master gardeners Kay Angerman and Julie Nelson bought this undeveloped 3-acre property in 2011. And after clearing 450 cedar trees, they created an oasis of 35 gardens for 5 chickens, 2 miniature donkeys, a rescue pup named Sarge, and a rescue tabby named Jax. Kate and Julie truly love gardening. For them, gardening is an experience and a lifestyle.
That's wonderful. Well, you said it's on the 11th, but what about the admissions?
As I said, the event's going to be on Saturday, May the 11th,
Right.
just in time for Mother's Day.
Okay.
The tour itself it's $20 in advance through May the 5th and $25 on the day of the tour. It's going to be held rain or shine from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and children under 12 are free.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Joanna, I want to thank you so much for coming in today. I'm really excited about this tour and the just broad range of gardens that will be on show for everybody, that everybody can learn from. Thank you for coming in today. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, John.